Hey guys, it's Gibberish HS here today, and today is going to be kind of like my overall thoughts of just what I thought about BlizzCon 2019. We had a lot of stuff happen there. We had Diablo 4, Overwatch 2, Hearthstone Battlegrounds, and World of Warcraft Shadowlands. We had a lot to talk about, and I'm more than excited to talk about it with y'all. With everything that's been going on from the BlizzCon Hong Kong situation and all that crap to how this means for the company, I'm just excited to talk about it all. Yeah, let's get into it. So, compared to last year, 2018 BlizzCon, this was a huge success. The biggest problem with BlizzCon 2018 is that it just alienated the entire community from the developers. And so ever since, it hasn't really been going good with the layoffs of I think it was 800 Blizzard employees and just all that stuff. And then with the Hong Kong crap right before BlizzCon, that did not help. So they really needed this BlizzCon to go well. And did it go well? I think it did. Some people were disappointed with BlizzCon this year, and some people were thrilled with it. And I think no matter what you think about it all, I think this BlizzCon probably went as good as it could have, from what we know. With all the Hong Kong stuff that went over, everyone knew that was going to hang over the heads just a little bit. And since I went to BlizzCon this year, and yeah, there were protesters there, but I will say that the pictures that people were posting and all that made it seem a lot worse than what it actually was. There were only around, from what I saw, now it may be different, but from what I saw, there were only around 15 to 20 people, I think, at the largest moment that I saw. Now, there were more people just walking around with shirts and stuff, and I think I saw around 5 people dressed as Winnie the Pooh. So there was that, and then of course we all know about the Warcraft Q&A that happened with, I think it was 3 people. So we had the red shirt guy who came on and said Free Hong Kong, and we had another person that said Free Hong Kong. There was someone in the background saying Free Hong Kong. So yeah, there was some awkwardness, but besides the Q&A, it actually was kind of hard to figure out. You didn't really notice it. Yeah, you may have seen someone dressed up as Winnie the Pooh, or yeah, you may have seen someone with a free May with Hong Kong shirt, but besides that, it actually wasn't that big of a deal, at least for me. Now, I actually didn't go to the Warcraft area a lot, the World of Warcraft. I didn't test the demo. I'm not a huge MMO player. I'm more of a PvE slash player versus player kind of guy. I do enjoy MMO, and I've been playing Classic, and I like that, but Shadowlands, I loved the cinematic, but I wasn't really into the whole thing. But we'll get into Warcraft in a minute. So all I'm trying to say is that from my point of view, from the Hong Kong perspective, it actually wasn't too bad, and I feel like some people are making it seem worse than it actually is. Don't get me wrong, I am all for Hong Kong liberation, all that stuff. I don't support what Blizzard did. Some people thought that the apology that Blizzard made at BlizzCon was just fake and phony and stupid. I think it was a little. I was surprised that they did it because, and I was expecting him to say we are therefore gonna take away Blitzchung's ban and he's no longer gonna be banned at all or something like that. I think if they had done that, then that would have everyone would be like, okay, this is an actual apology. For me, I was kind of just whatever. I like to keep video games. I don't like to mix politics with video games. I don't like to mix any of that. So I really try to separate it when I was doing it there. So when I was there, I try to just forget about the Hong Kong. I just try to enjoy video games. So whatever your stances are with Hong Kong and Blizzard and all that, and if all that, my whole take on it is that I actually don't think that the protests were as bad as people were portraying them to be. I am all for people protesting. I was all for that. They did it in a very peaceful manner, and I was great with that. So I support what they did, and yeah. But overall, in the over the BlizzCon, I don't think it hung a shadow over it as much as some people are saying. So now that we got the Hong Kong and the apology out of the way, what did I think about the actual convention? Well, the convention was actually a lot of fun for me. I had a great time just going around, testing all the demos and all this. And this was my first BlizzCon, guys. So I was all over the place. I was loving the vibe. People were very friendly up there. And it was just a very loving community, I realized, once I got up there. And yeah, it was just really fun. I believe the first demo I did was the Hearthstone Battlegrounds demo, and I did that because the Overwatch and Diablo 4 demos were so big. They were so long I couldn't handle it. So I waited, and I decided to go over and I did the Hearthstone Battlegrounds demo, and I loved it. So from what I've played with Battlegrounds, it is one of the most fun, different modes to play, probably besides Standard. Besides Standard mode, this is my favorite mode to play Hearthstone. It's not even Hearthstone really, it's more like an auto chess game, and I love it. I like just different things that go on in PvP and PvP aspects of Hearthstone. And if you guys remember, I made a video talking about the Choose Wisely Hearthstone cinematic, and I said that Blizzard needs to do either two things for Hearthstone at this convention. They either got to make a new PvP mode, or they got to bring in a new class. Okay? And they did that. They brought in a new PvP mode. And I asked some of the developers and artists, was like, hey, do you ever think there would be a new class? And they kind of said, like, only as like a last resort. So I think at this moment right now, we aren't going to get any new classes anytime soon. And that was kind of just like a hope. But with the PvP, it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to get new people in the game because it's very different from what you think from Hearthstone itself. It's got a Hearthstone theme, it's got the cards, it's got new cards, but it also it plays completely different. So I think anyone who likes Hearthstone will like this, and I think anyone who plays auto chess will probably like this too. If not, at least give it a shot. So yeah, that was a lot of fun just playing the Battlegrounds mode. And when the beta comes out, I believe it comes out tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow I'll be playing that a lot. So I work tomorrow, but don't worry, I'll be on that. So, and then yeah, with Descent of Dragons, a normal Hearthstone expansion, that was a lot of fun too. There wasn't really anything to play with that, but I went to the Hearthstone update to see what was going on with that. And the new cards they released and the new mechanics seem pretty fun. Check out my video that I made on the card reviews of Descent of Dragons. So that was pretty cool. Dragons are pretty neat, and new hero cards are always very cool to Hearthstone. And yeah, so Hearthstone was a lot of fun for me this year. I probably did the demo over 10 times. Like, I played it a lot, and I really wanted to get a feel for the Hearthstone demo. So second thing that I enjoyed was StarCraft. I just love the tournaments. I've always been a big StarCraft fan, and of course, we got nothing actual valuable for StarCraft. I wanted a StarCraft 3 or a StarCraft first-person shooter, but we had leaks that said the StarCraft first-person shooter was dead a long time ago, so I guess that was too much to ask for. But I really love the StarCraft franchise, and it was very evident that other people do too, because I was watching the tournament all the time. I may not have been in the arena 100% of the time, but I was watching on my phone if I could, and I was there for the last two battles. And I will tell you something, I've never seen a StarCraft tournament that was so loving and so excited to play the game. It was so much fun, guys. It really was. So I really want Blizzard to not just kind of ignore this franchise. Yes, I know Overwatch is your big one. I know Diablo was expected. Oh, well, hi. Is expected, and Diablo and all of this stuff was kind of expected from it. But I really feel like StarCraft is a franchise that deserves more than just a new co-op commander and toss it aside. So that's my thoughts on StarCraft. I mean, we all knew nothing was gonna happen in StarCraft at BlizzCon, so I'm not like upset about it. It's just something I really want to happen eventually. Heroes of the Storms. Nothing happened. And then we had Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 was pretty good. I'll tell you one thing, that I believe the 0 Hour cinematic was one of the best cinematics it was the best cinematic Overwatch has ever had. And I was legit freaking out and screaming with the people around me when Genji came into the cinematic, when he cut through the hand, when Reinhardt came, when he and Brigitte interlocked his shields. It was such a good cinematic. And it felt a little more, like, it had the Overwatch fun theme to it, but it felt a little darker in a sense. Like, it felt like a little more dire circumstances than we're usually used to seeing in Overwatch, and I really enjoyed that. Having a darker sense of Overwatch is what I was hoping for. And what do I think about Overwatch 2? Well, I think Overwatch 2 is pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. I think the thing that's kind of funny about Overwatch 2 is that they were like, it's a sequel, and so it's a new game, but we're going to try to change it, and so the both are kind of be like interlocked. It's an expansion is what it is. And I don't know why they didn't just say an expansion. Maybe they're hoping to charge you $60 for that. I really hope they don't do that, because that would be stupid. It's just an expansion, because like if you play Overwatch 2, all your stuff from Overwatch 1 is going to come over. You'll get to play all the stuff from Overwatch 1, and if you have Overwatch 1, you'll basically get all the things you can, all the new heroes in Overwatch 2 and all that stuff, but you just don't get some of the PvE mechanics or the push mode, if I'm right. So yeah, it just wasn't very, not very reliable. I just wish that they had just said, we have a sequel, that we have an expansion called Overwatch 2. That would have been fine. Alright, I would have preferred something like Overwatch 2, like the Overwatch Omnic Crisis expansion or something like that, but that's not a big deal. My whole point of this is that I hope they don't charge you like $60 for an expansion. Then again, though, StarCraft's expansions were like $40 to $50, so it's not a huge deal. That's something I hope they don't do. But in the actual overall PvE element of Overwatch, I really like the Overwatch PvE mechanic to it. So it is different enough from what we've experienced in Overwatch before. So things like, I believe, like the Blackwatch things, or like Omnic Prices, or the Halloween stuff, basically where you're just fighting robots. That's fun, but it gets really old really quick. I played that one time when those come around. I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I don't even play the hard mode, because it's just something I don't care about. I get bored after one time. And so this mode was a lot more fun, because I got to upgrade my hero, which is very cool, by the way. Upgrading your hero and like grabbing item packs, which you can do, which made the game really fun, because there was a point where our team just died and we had to restart, and when we restarted we had to choose different items than we originally did so we could survive that match. And I like that. I like the fact that items are important in Overwatch 2. So that is something I really was a fan of in Overwatch 2, and it wasn't even super complicated. It was just like, you have one that's healing, one that's shield. Okay, well, you're about to be surrounded by a bunch of robots, so I think the shield would be better in this case. So things like that are really valuable in Overwatch, I've noticed, and I really think it's a better way of the PvE system, but it still has a similar feeling to it. My hope is that what you can do in the PvE experiences is that they'll bring more heroes into it. And so if you're like fighting, basically like you were fighting, like, like if you're fighting a computer in StarCraft, it's like you're fighting an actual person if you choose a high enough level. I want it to be a PvE experience where maybe I have to fight Hanzo, a computer Hanzo. Something like that would be very cool to me. Just my opinion. So that's kind of what I think about Overwatch 2 in the PvE experience. The push system is very fun. It's my favorite mode by far. and that alone, with like the 5 new heroes they're going to announce, is enough for me to probably buy it. So I think if something with the new just PvP element of Overwatch, they need to introduce more types of mode, and I wouldn't be opposed to leveling characters in PvP either. So, but the point of Overwatch 2 is that they're kind of taking the base level of Overwatch and they're upgrading. They're making it a little more complicated, and I like that because sometimes I play Overwatch and it's just like so baby simple that it's just like I want to play something that's that requires me to get a scope or something like that. And I gotta say, the customized abilities is something that I'm most excited about when it comes to Overwatch 2. Now, when it comes to the WoW expansion, like I said before, I'm not a big MMO player. I will say that the cinematic was really good. It was beautiful. All the cinematics were great this year. But the WoW one, it was pretty incredible. Seeing Boulevard in the full cinematic resolution was incredible. It was one of the most beautiful cinematics I've ever seen. My problem with it is I didn't like the fact that Sylvanas beat the Lich King. That's just a preference in the lore that I didn't like. But in actual preferences of the game, I don't play a lot of MMO, so I can't really say too much about it. I'm more of a lore guy when it comes to Warcraft, World of Warcraft. So I'm kind of just going to stake my opinion to say it looks cool. Shadowlands looks really neat, and I'm glad that the leaks were kind of true. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about WoW. And then Diablo 4, the biggest announcement of all time at Blizzcon. And not only that, but it was like people knew this was coming. Alright, we had leaks from so long ago, and then we had the art book leak, and then we had more leaks and more leaks, so many leaks. And I'm pretty sure that was on purpose, because I think Blizzard wanted people to know, hey, we have stuff on the way. We got some crap that's going on, but we do have good stuff, and it's paying off. We are doing what you wanted, especially after Immortal. So I'm really glad that the countdown just went straight to the Diablo. I'm glad it just went straight to that, because that made it made it clear there's like, hey, here it is. No more waiting, you know, and I love that. And I just gotta say, I think the Diablo 4 intro cinematic was probably Blizzard's most impressive cinematic they have ever done. I've known Diablo. I've played Diablo 2 and I've enjoyed it. Not all the way through, but I've played a couple like stuff through it. Diablo 3 I've mingled a little bit, but I like Diablo 2 more. And let me tell you something. That cinematic alone was enough to get me enthralled in the game. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that cinematic, oh my god. I've watched World of Warcraft cinematics, StarCraft cinematics, and just all that. But the Diablo 4 cinematic was probably the most impressive cinematic, the most crazy cinematic, the darkest cinematic, and I gotta say, it was just so amazing. Like, it looked incredible, and the crowd's reaction. If you weren't at BlizzCon, you don't know how crazy it was. I was in the StarCraft arena, and people were cheering, they were screaming. This was something that people have been waiting for since Diablo 3, so for 7 years, people have been asking for this, and they finally got it. They finally got it, and it was so cool to see that. It really was. It was truly remarkable. So, what I actually thought about the game, I played the Druid. I didn't get a chance to play it twice, the Barbarian or Sorceress, but the Druid I did play. And since I've played the other two, I have to say, this is really fun. It's kind of got like it's got like the graphics of Diablo 3, but darker, and the feel of Diablo 2 to me. And the player aspect of it was really fun to me. Like I said, I don't play a lot of MMO, but this was enough RPG and just a little bit of MMO to make me happy. Because while I do like PvE, I do like a little bit of player interface. And this has that. So that is so cool. Playing as the Druid was so much fun. climbing down buildings. Just the graphics were so beautiful, guys. I gotta say, it was so much fun just going through the ranks, playing this game, and anyone who plays this will enjoy it. I really believe that. And as a person who hasn't played a whole lot of Diablo, I'm excited. Like, this is probably gonna be the first game I'm gonna play, like, when I can. I played Battlegrounds 10 times. I played Diablo 4 once. But Diablo 4 has something that I wasn't really expecting to be like, over. You know, like I wasn't expecting like to freak out. But I did, because it was so much fun. It really was. Just going around this dark world and fighting random drowned creature, goat men things. Like, that is so cool. It really was. As a druid, you have these like 2 wolves that come around and they just eat stuff for you. You can turn into a big ass bear and just like claw at people. You can summon lightning. I didn't play as a sorceress, but you could summon a fireball from the air, and if you were a barbarian, you just chop off people. I love how much blood there was in the game. I just love all the darkness. The graphics are beautiful. And I wasn't expecting for Diablo 4 to be my favorite announcement, but it probably was. I'll be honest, it was so amazing and so cool. So what were my overall thoughts about all of BlizzCon in the end? Well, my overall thoughts were that it was a good 2 days for Blizzard, and I think it was a really fun weekend for me. Just going around with the Blizzard community was so much fun. Playing Diablo 4, playing Hearthstone Battlegrounds, playing all this stuff, Overwatch 2 PvE and PvP. It was just such a cool experience. Watching the tournaments was so cool, guys. Watching the Overwatch 2 World Cup, like, you can't believe how crazy people were about that. The entire stadium, the entire convention almost was watching this. It was crazy. Hearthstone, we had the first female Hearthstone competitor and winner. And she was from China. Like, it was so crazy. StarCraft 2 tournament, I wanted Rainer to win, but kudos to Dark for winning his first. And yeah, South Korea got the crown again, but Sarah will be back. He'll take it again. So, like, there's just all these cool stuff, guys, that would happen. It was so much fun. It really was. So, regardless if you're excited about Shadowlands, or excited about Hearthstone Battlegrounds, or maybe you're excited about, you know, Overwatch 2 or just Diablo 4. Whatever you're excited about, I honestly think that's enough to be excited about, because those 4 are basically like they're just new games that they're making. Overwatch 2 is a new game. It's a sequel, but it's a new game, okay? WoW is an expansion. The MMO players are going to love that, okay? Well, hopefully they do. They didn't like BFA that much, but they're going to... You know what I'm saying. It's a new experience. Diablo 4 is a new game that we've been waiting for 7 years. I mean, Hearthstone Battlegrounds, I don't think anyone really expected anything major from Hearthstone, but we got something new. And I'll tell you, a lot of people were excited to play that at BlizzCon. It wasn't as busy as Diablo 4 or Overwatch 2, but there were good lines that waited up to an hour to play that game. So, it was pretty fun overall, guys, and I think no matter what you're excited about, it's good to be excited about it. So yeah, guys, I hope you had a good BlizzCon, and I hope you had a good week. My statues should be coming in soon. I have the Crusader, the Mathel, and the Footman all coming. They're all shipping from BlizzCon to my house. I didn't have room on the plane to bring them, so I apologize. And yeah, I also got the 2 posters on the way. I got one signed by all the artists and developers, and even Peter Whalen, I think is his last name. I got him to sign it too. It was just so much fun, guys. So I'll when I all get it unraveled and hung up on the walls, and it's gonna be great, guys. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.